Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates, and we are three again. Nina's joining us, and so is John, as always. And we're continuing our Who Done It lineup with the original Knives Out, and this time I'm hosting. Yay!
Joma, oh my fucking god.
What?
No! Anyway, continue on, so
Anyway.
please, before it gets worse.
Anyway, Nina kind of already said her feelings about the first one, but to just reiterate, were you looking forward to this movie, and what do you think of the cast?
For me naman, I obviously, because this is the first one, I had no expectations. I honestly didn't even, I knew it was a whodunit, but this was the movie that made me realize that I really like whodunits. Or at least, I like the way Ryan Johnson does whodunits right now. And so watching it, I was like, I had no expectations, because I think I watched this, just on a random day. When did this come out? 2019 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched it on a random day. Oh, I know why I watched it, because Chris Evans was in it, because this was his first role post Avengers, post MCU. So I was like, I have to watch this. Why not, right? And so I did, and I was like, whoa, amazing. And of course, how can I say no to Jamie Lee Curtis and everything? This put Ana de Armas on the map for me.
Okay.
But I knew she was already in Blade Runner at that point, and War Dogs with Miles Teller and
Jonah Hill.
Jenna Hill. There you go. Thank you so much. I'm trying to. I don't want to confuse him with other people, because he's also the kind of actor that I think of his face, but then I'll say someone else's name. But anyway, continue.
How about you,
You,
John?
Joma.
Oh, right. First time watching this. We discussed this on the previous video, but I was getting off the hate with this Star Wars movie. I even forgot the name, but Ryan Johnson directed this. I was like, fuck, he sucks as a director. Sure, he made Looper, but fuck him.
He made what?
Looper.
Looper?
Yeah, with
Sorry, say that again.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay. I see it. Sorry, I was like, I haven't actually heard of that movie from him. But anyway, continue, please.
Yeah. So I was like, Looper was great, but the Star Wars one was so bad that I was like, I refuse to watch whatever you pull out. And when I watched Knives Out, and I think it was for streaming, and my sister and brother were watching it, I kind of just it was like I wasn't really caring. And then when Enzo was like, "Have you seen Knives Out?" I was like, "Yeah, it sucked." And I was just going through the hate because of what they did to Star Wars. And I was just a young boy that time.
A young boy.
And I watched Glass Onion, and I was hearing people say, "Oh, it's good, but it's not as good as the first one." I was like, "The first one wasn't good. What are you talking about?" And then I rewatched it. I was like, "Oh fuck, my bad." Rewatching it as a grown man, I was like, I have judged you poorly, little movie. You're actually good.
I get that feeling of disliking something because of a production person on it. I completely find that valid to a certain extent of to a agreeable extent, because I get it if somebody just came off the hot tails of disliking somebody in production, whether it's an actor or even the talent itself mismo, the actors, the directors, producers, or people involved, and disliking something because of the person that they are. But I guess I'm just lucky that I didn't watch the Star Wars stuff, because I haven't even watched the original trilogy.
And you know what? You don't need to.
True.
Okay.
True. Anyway, sorry. Continue. I get it. I just want to defend Jova for in this moment. Not defend, but I wanna say you are valid. You are listened to, Jova, because I get it.
I'm already calling myself out.
I have a thought in my head, but I don't want to say the name out loud. But anyway, go ahead, Enzo. How about you?
Well, as for me, as you can see in my background, I am a Star Wars person. So
Loser.
Sure, weeb.
So that's how art works in my background. Fuck you.
I know where it is. I know where it is. Anyway, going into it, I saw the first trailer, And then I was like, that's a pretty cool cast. I don't care. Because, like, I was also like, Star Wars wasn't the best. The Last Jedi wasn't the best. But I had seen, like, Looper after that, because people were like, if you didn't like Last Jedi, watch Looper. I was like, alright, I'll watch Looper. Watch it, and I was like, holy shit, that was pretty good. And then I was lukewarm on it, and then I watched it during the pandemic, or like during lockdowns. Like, got nothing better to do. It's pretty star-studded with people from our favorite blockbuster action movies or like highly acclaimed dramas and musicals. So I'm like, why not? And I watched it, and then I'm like, it's fine. And then watching it again after Glass Onion, I was like, got to appreciate it more. And so this has gone up in my book as a really good movie, with of course a stellar cast and just as I would say a star making role for Ana de Armas. Yeah.
Yeah, because in fairness, this was the one that really put her on the map. Because a lot of the time, even like I didn't finish it yet because admittedly it's a long ass movie. Blade Runner with
How dare you?
what Blade Runner? What is it called?
2049.
Sorry, it's because like all of these. I'm sorry to say, all of these fucking cyberpunk things,
yeah.
or like have like these numbers of 20 something. So I'm thinking in my head 2077. That's incorrect. I'm like, what's the number? 2069. I don't fucking know. So like, hear me out. It's hard, okay?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to remember all these. Like they're like 20 something, and I'm like, I can't keep up. Anyway, but like I was like, okay, she had an interesting role so far, but like I think this really like solidified that she really is a good actress, because for a lot of people, like, you know, you have to admit, at least what I've seen so far, it seemed like a very distinct role of like playing the girl that, like, you know, the what is it, like the Her movie with that in like Joaquin Phoenix's thing.
You can't really say it's a Her movie because they're both AI.
I mean, true. Okay, we're not gonna get. Okay, no, we're not gonna get into the morals of, like, you know, we're not gonna Ghost in the Shell this shit, okay? And so, what is a soul? Am I right? But like, you know, I think this really solidified it for her, and it's the reason she got into the final Bond movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Because Daniel Craig was like, I like you so much, come in my movie, because he was like, the production was so delayed, they were so far back in production that he actually could just be like, this is gonna be my Bond girl, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I want her. So I was like, cool, solid. And she looked great in that film.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's because of that she gets her own standalone movie from the John Wick spin-off. So
She does?
Yeah, she's in the Ballerina spin-off with Keanu Reeves and Norman Reedus. Excited for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me just get right.
But yeah, we start out with the murder itself, and we are introduced to the detectives and the overall cast, which is the Trombies, who are played by, again, people that we already love from former movies like Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Chris Evans, of course, and then of course there's Daniel Craig from James Bond. And like, as we go deeper into the family dynamic, we find out that a lot of them, except for Jamie Lee Curtis, outright had somewhat of a motive to kill Harlan, who was played by the late great Christopher Plummer. Like, Walt, who's played by Michael Shannon, was insisting that they sell the right to Netflix. Harlan didn't want that, so he cut him off. Toni Collette's character, who's been clinging on to Harlan's fortune since she is a widow and she depends on the money for her and her daughter Meg, is double dipping and stealing from Harlan, so he decides that you're not getting a single cent anymore. And for Jamie Lee Curtis's husband Richard, who's played by Don Johnson, he tells him that, oh, I know you're cheating on my daughter, so either you tell her or I will.
Or I will.
Yeah.
That was an interesting. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, but that's the other detective said, like, this is weak. Saw us like, why would you really murder this guy? And so the plot thickens.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to Benoit Blanc and then we're introduced to Marta, who's played by Ana de Armas, and you get the real story, or like part of the real story of what happened that night after the birthday party.
I do love the introduction to Benoit Blanc here, since this is like it's my second time seeing him. Because I watched Glass Onion to its fullest, then I watched this. Seeing him in the background and just like not standing out, I was like, this is so jarring.
Yeah.
Because he's mostly the flamboyant type, right? That's his character. He's supposed to be the kind of, smart but flamboyant or like standy outish character. Until he starts talking, that's when he stands out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there he is. But no, he's just at the background with these two detectives. You just see him there, just that blonde guy at the background. And I was like, this is off-putting.
And then he does the piano thing, right? He does I don't know how to do a piano thing, but he does that, right? So like every time he's like, I'm done with this,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get to see the full story of like that night after the birthday party. Both Harlan and Marta go upstairs to play Go, and after that she gives him his meds and thinks that she gave him the wrong dosage and plans an escape plan for her, so she's not the main suspect of this, and her mom doesn't get deported.
Yeah.
And then
oh God, do you just love the who was talking again? Where they were like, oh, you see, what was Ana de Armas' character?
Marta.
Name?
Marta.
You see Marta? She got in the hard way. She got in the illegal.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Here we go. Rich people, white rich people.
She's from
let's go.
Ecuador, no Paraguay, no Uruguay. We're like, oh, you really don't care, do you?
And then the Brazilian from Chris Evans naman.
Yeah.
You're Brazilian nurse? Oh God.
And I love it that like Ana de Armas has that face of like,
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try. And you know what? That's valid. That was me whenever people would be like, are you? And then insert something that's clearly
are you
not
from
me.
Thailand? I'm like, nah, you're close.
You're close, good enough. But yeah, I think because like so let's speak first about like looping back to how Benoit was first characterized. I was very interesting is the progression of how they did him in the first movie to the current, like the second movie, in that like you see him, they introduce him as like, because we're all aware Daniel Craig, it's gonna be a mystery movie. He is the Sherlock, right? So to everyone in their head, right, they're thinking, oh, he's gonna be this really serious, like quirky dude, but then he actually talks and you're like, that's a silly ass voice. Like that is the silliest accent you could ever hear coming from like who was at one point James Bond, the suave guy. So like seeing him as that and then seeing him be like this really not really machismo, but really like Joma said, flamboyant, very like stand out character that he is, I just think to myself like, oh, okay, where are we taking this? Because I was like, he's smart. And then as the movie progresses, you're like, is he smart? Like, I had the question, like, is he all he's cracked up to be? So I'm kind of like, but we'll get onto that later. But like Martha, it's like, oh, she's just a really sweet lady.
Yeah.
She's so nice. But anyway,
I love this. I love the setting as well. It's very compared to Glass Onion. This is kind of like my setting. Very darkish blue. Like,
yeah,
it's very dreary.
Yeah. It's because like the way that they characterized even the setting alone with and who was involved is like, I think I've told you guys about like Glass Onion being the very new rich type. So it's the very nouveau riche. So like very new rich, very much extravagant, but old rich is kind of like very like, this is very like, it is what you think when you think Agatha Christie, right?
Yeah, mahogany wood.
Yeah, mahogany wood.
House.
Yeah, Clue House. You're thinking like, oh, this is what they consider old East Coast rich. Because it's like the kind of people who like have had it that's the idea of generational wealth, right? That's why. So that's kind of like what I like. I also personally preferred the way this looked, but that's obviously because I just like the aesthetic in and of itself. Like, but I also just like the idea. Like, it feels so interesting that like, oh, he based it off of Agatha Christie and then creates the patriarch to be a mystery writer himself. And I don't know, I just like that kind of like small nod. Actually, it's not even small, it's a huge nod because the fact that he is a mystery writer, and even during the moment where Martha's like, oh, we have to get you this like thing because the morphine's gonna kill you. He's like, so what you're saying is no one is gonna find out, and this is the easiest way to get away with dying. Or not the easiest, but this is one way of dying. And she's like, yes, yes. She's like crying her eyes out. Yes. And he's like, notes. And I'm like, sir, you are about to die in 10 minutes. It's like, sir, you are about to die in 10 minutes. Can we like, you know, and he's like, so now I have 8 minutes going. Sir, you are dying. And he's like, it's okay.
I want to be this old man. Well, not minus the shitty family part, but like, I want to be this old man.
Just a quirky old man. Just that man.
Yeah, I'm like, in the face of that, I'm like, I am like 80 something.
Yeah,
I'm good.
It's like, I got money, I'm good, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I like that idea of like, this is because I told you guys, right? Like the framework for learning about whodunits is very much in this like old rich patriarch but why would he die? How did he die? Oh, you know, so yeah, it's very much giving Agatha Christie. So go ahead and so continue here.
Yeah, and the one thing we learn about Martha is that when she lies, she vomits. And like that's how he confirms his suspicions about the family members. Because the flashbacks only inform the audience. They don't inform... He can't read minds. So he has to use her to be like, oh, yeah, Richard was cut off because he's cheating. And Walter was cut off because he keeps insisting on selling the Netflix rights or the rights to
Netflix rights. That's funny considering Ryan Johnson's second movie was immediately released after the theatrical release. Yeah. Like it was only out for like a week or two in theaters and not even here in the Philippines. So I'm like, oop, kind of funny. But anyway, not ironic, just interesting, coincidental.
Unlike Harlan had confided on Martha, like, oh, Joni keeps stealing from me, or I should have trained Walt to build his own thing instead of them being so dependent on me. And for what's Chris Evans' name?
Hugh.
Hugh.
No. Ransom also.
Ransom. It's like he's so like me. He reminds me of myself, but he is so spoiled he can't tell the difference between the real and
fake name.
Yeah. Nice setup, but like for this the first few I would say halves, like it's Martha trying to be like, oh shit, everything that the detectives are investigating makes me look guilty, so I will do everything in my power to make sure I don't look guilty.
Yeah, where she kind of like alludes them to like different areas when they tried to trace back. I mean, this is the part where we start seeing Blanc like being a true detective, where oh shit, he's piecing it together. It's just this one character that we know is innocent is fucking up the evidence.
Yeah.
No, we don't know she's innocent yet.
Alright, we don't know if she...
We don't know that yet. We're still operating under the idea that she killed him by accident.
Yeah.
So...
Oops,
like,
I mean, it's like 3 years already, it's fine.
I know, it's funny. It's just funny, you know. Oops, spoiler.
But yeah, like she steps over her own tracks. And she's like, well, what are you saying? And she walks back and he's like, wait.
What is it? Oh my god, I can't hear you. And then he's like, oh, this tape, you know, you can't press 2 buttons. It's so old. And she's like, oh.
Then it burns up the tape.
Yeah.
And then
she
sees the piece, she tosses it.
But the dog's like, I thought
keeps bringing it back.
I thought you wanted to play. I thought it's just weird. You're like, you know, in your mind, even though it's not revealed, you're like, everything says she's innocent. So there's something or someone must be setting her up to make her look not innocent, or like, what do you call that? Being negligent on taking care of Harlan.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, you guys believe she was innocent? For me, I was like, is she innocent? Is this really like for me, right? I was like 10 times questioning everything in my head because I was like, is she really innocent, or is there something that I'm clearly not seeing? Like, there are pieces of this that have not revealed itself to me, so I'm just kind of like, I'm here for the ride right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she was innocent in my head, but I didn't like bar off. Like, to be, I wanted her to be innocent, but I didn't bar off the fact that she might not be.
Oh, okay. But no, I was like, is it because she is the main character, Kun, or like it's I know there are must and I just have a huge crush and I hope she's innocent.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's like, she's so beautiful. How could she do that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when Ransom comes back into the picture, that's when things get very interesting because you hear parts of the argument and then you get the full, like, some more context from like Jade and Martel of what Ransom and Harlan said to each other that night as Jade and Martel was in the bathroom, you know, doing stuff. Like, okay, the things you hear while you're trying to seek private time with your family,
Yes.
no less.
When you watch Andrew Tate in the bathroom joke. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like little kid is like
He's a
piece of
white
shit
supremacist.
Nazi.
Wait, am I
Yeah.
allowed to say that? Are we gonna get a he's
I think
a white supremacist?
Yeah, it's a, it is.
a white.
Yeah, it is.
He's a blanc. He's a
Yeah. Hey, these are quotes from the movie, not us.
Yeah.
he literally says, what did he say? Oh my god, later. I'll talk
This
about the
little
quotes.
piece of shit Nazi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
That's
I hate that he plays it so well. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. Concerning? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, but like continue, Enzo, please.
The whole family, you're like, please stop talking about politics. I don't like it no more.
I
You
know,
know,
right?
They don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
and they
Like-
can't really feel what other people are feeling. I was like,
Like Joni, the incredible actress from Hereditary, whose name is escaping me at the
Oh,
moment.
Nicolette.
Like, yeah, Nicolette, there you go. Her, oh my god, like somebody described her as like she speaks on these things, clearly only getting her opinions from Twitter, and then like she copy pastes everything that she says from Twitter.
yeah.
And I'm just
That's
like,
so true.
tama true. Like a
Yeah.
part of me is like, do I sound like that? I hope not. Anyway.
And her daughter though is like the only sympathetic person towards Martha, and the only one in that family who wants to do right. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
except for, well, actually, Jamie Lee Curtis was kind of like in the neutral zone. She became.
She was okay. Yeah, she was okay. Like in the grand scheme of the family spectrum, she was okay. You know, like when you compare her to most of the other people, you know, who were very questionable, she's okay. Like she doesn't look as bad, but like if you put her like in a vacuum,
Mhm.
you'd be like, ooh. Anyway.
Also, the fact that Don Johnson was quoting Hamilton, praising immigrants, and then another second he's like, well, if they enter the right way, like, you two-faced son of a bitch.
Yeah, I love this, but because now we are not sympathizing with these people. We're like, I really hope you're the one to kill them. But
Don't
Yeah,
make-
I want you to get your comeuppance hoe like that. Just like, I fucking hate. Like honestly, I think it's good that like Ryan Johnson and the writers like wrote them in such a way that they were somewhat a caricature of something, but like even if they were caricatures, like they weren't too terrible. Like I've seen like caricatures of these things that absolutely annoy the shit out of me, that ruin it. But I think the benefit of Knives Out being so fucking outrageous, like outrageously hilarious, but also just out there. Like think about it, right? Like when you compare Benoit Blanc as a character, you kind of do see the caricature of him. Like he's like the southern, really smart detective. But then with the way that they edit it, the music, the way that they make the writing in and of itself, like they know that they're not trying to be terribly serious. But when the moments that are serious come about, it's almost really incredible how grounded they can be. You know,
hear that,
which I think
Marvel?
is brilliant. Oh. But you get what I mean, right? Like they are caricatures, but you find yourself sympathizing towards Martha because admittedly, she is just the very like I'm an innocent, like not naman sobrang like not that as if she's like an uwu girly, you know, but she's just like I know what I need to do. Like I need to protect my mom and my sister. Like I don't care about the money because I'd rather not have the money because clearly everyone's trying to vie for it and at the expense of my mom, right? Which I think is really heartwarming. Sorry, go ahead, Joe. I see you wanted to
No, because now you're speaking of the money. Yeah, we get to a part where the attorney, starts reading off the will.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that moment.
this part.
Wait. Can we just talk about Chris Evans prior to that moment during the will reading where he's, oh my god, that was hilarious. Him going, what was it again?
Eat
shit, and you eat shit.
Yeah.
Essentially, and everyone's just talking over each other. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
He's smug because he knows something the rest of them don't. Because he's like, you're gonna lose your minds in a couple of minutes. So why do I?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, he's really hot in that white sweater. I don't know how many people I've seen talk about that white sweater on him.
Yeah.
Just interesting to see him in not a Captain America thing, you know? He's playing, what's his name?
Steve Rogers.
No, not Steve Rogers. He's playing the one before him. The Fantastic
Torch.
Four guy.
Human
Human
Torch.
Torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Human Torch when he was like an asshole guy, or the guy in Scott Pilgrim too. By the way, I don't know if people remember he's in Scott Pilgrim too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. And then they get the will reading done by Frank Oz of all people. Yeah, we're just
Sorry.
like, you were in
I love
Ryan
him
Johnson's
so
last
much.
movie. Yeah. Like,
He
oh,
plays it so well.
yeah, nothing you do. Privileged white assholes you are. Like, oh, okay.
But yeah, like as he reads the will, they're all like, "Oh, you ain't getting the money, you ain't getting the house, and you guys ain't getting the cars." But she is, and everybody
Yeah,
turns
he's
around
like,
and it's to
and I
Martha.
leave. No, my favorite, and I leave everything and I to Martha Cabrera, and then they're like, "This is our house." Is it? And then there's like, I leave my house to Martha Cabrera. Ooh. And I leave my publishing house to Martha Cabrera. Ooh.
I love that part where they're like, "This is our house." Well, technically, it's hers now.
Yeah, they were, and like my favorite too. Oh my god, what was it that little kid said? The one from It. What was he saying? He was like, "You slept with my granddad, you dirty anchor baby."
Yeah,
That was, mind you, okay, hear me out. So this is the line that I wanted to say beyond the eat shit one. Did you know that was improvised? And somebody, like, the father of Dakota Johnson, whose name is escaping me also.
Don Johnson. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. He was like, it escaped me because I watched Dakota Johnson's movie before today. Anyway, but like, he was like, I heard him say that. Can we? It's either him or Michael Shannon who said it. They were like, he said something really good. You need to make sure he says it out loud for the movie. And I was like, that kid is too good at that. Why does he know how to say that? That kid is 15, maybe 16 years old. Why does he know how to say that?
Those COD lobbies, them like
Those
League of
COD
Legends
lobbies,
lobbies, they
Okay.
taught him well.
Or, maybe he just did really good
Consent.
research
You
on his
gotta face
character.
realities.
Or he just did really
I-
good research on his character. Like, good job on you, Jaden Martel. He did the research.
They're just like playing white
A concerning amount of research, just saying. Anyway,
Yeah,
but and they were, and Ryan Johnson was like, "Good job." And then when I hear that he said that, I said, "Is it really? Why does he know how to say that?" Anyway, but yeah, continuing on, really great scene. Honestly, the whole will reading sequence, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they follow Martha outside the house just to be like, wait, just let's talk about the shock we're trying to go through. And poor Martha's also in shock, and then she escapes with Ransom, and they go escape in his car, and the family's left to be like, what do we do now? We just lost everything. And then Ransom gives Martha food, and then that's to make her tell the truth about what really happened to Harlan while the family's discussing with Yoda, or Frank Oz's character, like,
Yoda.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for him.
There's
Honestly, can I just say my favorite part of G&D things is like we don't say the actor's name or the character's name. We say what is like approximate to them. So Dakota Johnson's father is what? Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon is Michael Shannon, and then there's Yoda, and then
Yeah.
what else is there? What
Like
else
the-
have we said?
The only
when-
closer character
when
was
Michael
Grover.
Shannon's General Zod, so.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue.
And for Franca Oz, the only other character I could think of was Grover, so I'm like, that's too ridiculous. But they're going over like the laws of how this will can be null and void, essentially. And they're like, how about the Slayer law, which says like if you are responsible for the death of the person you're taking care of, the inheritance you got is no longer yours because you essentially killed them.
Yeah. My favorite part of that was, did you Google that? Did you just Google that?
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Ransom hears Martha's story and he's like, huh. I always thought I was the only one who could beat Harlan at Go. Alright. You still maintain your innocence and no one can find out what you did, otherwise you lose all this money and your family's in trouble. And then next day the family's awakened by the news and she's encountered by Walt, again, who's played by Michael Shannon, and he's like, we don't want to take this money away from you, but at the same time it's our right, it's our inheritance. We'll get the right lawyers and the right resources for you. It's like, but this is my inheritance now, so I can get the right lawyers and the right resources. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You didn't really think this through. I have the money now, so I can get whatever the fuck you're trying to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Can I also just say that in this moment, I was watching this again with some friends and who had not, because we watched Glass Onion first, and then we watched, in the same night, we watched Knives Out. And it was so funny because right, like, in this moment and a little bit after Michael Shannon goes to visit Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, like, is with her. And my friend... God bless my friend. He said, you know what? I'm so happy Chris Evans didn't turn out to be an asshole. he fully says that with his chest. He said, I'm so happy. I thought they were going to make him an asshole, but he's actually really nice. And you know what? I'm happy to see that. And I just went, I had to like I had to be like I didn't have my video on, so I was just like.
Yeah, but she gets a note with the toxicology report saying like, I know what you did, which will confirm her guilt, essentially. And then they ride out to the, what do you call that? The lab, but it's on fire or it's destroyed already. And then they go to where the email says to go to, but they're chased by Blanc and the rest of the detectives, which
In the slowest car chase in the world.
That's like the backhand to Kia.
Yeah. It's like,
I was about to ask you, like, Joma, what is the car? I'm sure you know the car. It's the Kia. It's just the
Oh god,
Kia.
they're not getting any future deals with Kia anytime soon.
yeah, and they get there, but they arrest Ransom or take him in for questioning because he's a suspect at that point because of what he said and what he did. You're like, yeah, that definitely is suspect material. And then Marta and Blanc drive off and she's like, can I just get something, please? And he's like, alright, sure. And then she goes and then she finds, what's the other person's name?
Fran.
Fran.
Fran, yeah.
She finds Fran and Fran is dying, saying that you did this. And she could leave, but she's like, no, I can't. I'm a decent person. I'll call the hospital. And she and Blanc go to the hospital to bring Fran in, and they're like, alright, we'll see what happens. She's in stable condition, so hopefully everything pans out. And then on the ride back to the Trombi house, that's when Marta tells Blanc everything. And like the moment when she's about to tell the Trombis, like, I can't have this inheritance because of the toxicology report, Blanc's like, wait, he reads the report, he's like, oh, something's very off. And then she's like, no, none of you get anything. She is the rightful owner. Goodbye. And there's like, well, that was unexpected. Like, I like the grandnaunt. She's like, hey.
What? Say that again, Enzo.
Hey.
Wait, who says that again?
The-
Like
Diana.
the old lady.
Harlan's mom.
Oh yeah. But anyway, like I love that moment because I think at this point in the movie we kind of like understand that we're still not resolved. Well, there's still something unresolved, right? Because
Yeah.
it like what Benoit says, he's like, no, we haven't solved the mystery of who hired me.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to know about a crime, but if there wasn't a crime, like it would have been easy to let Marta do it, but someone was clearly trying to do things and wasn't playing into it, the plan. And so we have this whole thing and it gets revealed that, and so say it.
It's Ransom's whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like Ben, and then Benoit at this point in the movie, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, this man's a fucking idiot. Like he does not know what the hell he's talking about. Some stupid ass arc in the rainbow, stupid bullshit,
No, no.
right? And then I'm like, and then he does it, and then he brings everything together, and you're like, oh my god, this man is a lot more brilliant than I expected, and it's the first reason I fall in love with Benoit. God bless. Because and then the whole thing happens, and then Chris Evans, in what I think to be, for as much as I love the reveal in Glass Onion, Chris Evans absolutely demolished, slayed, and ate that like he ate that like monologue where he's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" I get like something. It was like the whole. What are you gonna do about it? I have good with good lawyers, which I have. And it's just like so good. Like his delivery is so good. Give that man more monologues like that.
Yeah, just a very much a bad guy reveal.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I love it where they're like, "This is our house. He came to our house. We've had this for generations."
Right.
And then and Bob's like, "What? Oh, you bought this in the '80s."
From a
Yeah, he bought this in
Pakistani
the 80s,
billionaire.
sir. Like, and it's just like, oh my god, Chris Evans plays. It's so weird because I think he picked Captain America for a PR thing because technically prior to his Captain America, he did Human Torch and he did Scott
Losers.
Pilgrim. Huh?
There's a movie called The Losers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird.
And he did all of these like asshole like characters, and then he said, "Let me do Steve Rogers for 10 years," and then now he goes right back into it. It's like he changed his image like twice in his career, which is incredible, mind you.
Even in Greyman, he plays a bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which by the way, I really liked watching. I know that it was like, okay, I have my thoughts about it. I don't know if we have reviewed it, but I kind of enjoyed it for reasons, but not like the reasons that you think I should be liking it for. Besides, of course, Ryan Gosling. Why not Coconut? Let's do it soon. Anyway.
No, I'm asking Enzo, did we?
Okay.
No, we didn't.
You know what? I have an idea if we want to do Greyman. I have two other movies that we might want to do. Anyway.
Yeah,
But sorry?
I like the detail of like Ransom already switched out the medicines, but because Marta is a nurse and she knows the consistency of each vial, she's like,
Viscosity.
yeah,
Sorry.
she puts the right amount in.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, sorry. Jama going viscosity.
Not because you got.
No. Yeah, no, it's just kind of funny. The word makes me laugh. You know,
Okay.
the word viscosity makes me laugh. But like, and he just says like, you won the game by not playing it the way Harlan or Ransom wanted you to, but you just played it the way that you did. You
Yeah.
know, and I like that. That's a nice callback to the Go game. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm trying to beat you. And she's like, I don't know, I just want to make pretty patterns. Which I think is really indicative of her character. Because I think this is the moment in the movie where I said, this is a lot deeper than I remembered it being. Like, I thought that it could be, right? Because we think mystery, we think, how do we get to the end? Who did it? Right?
Yeah.
But that's why I said, like, these movies that Ryan Johnson made, like, Knives Out and Glass Onion, is a mystery with a really nice heart to it. You know, like there's a really nice lesson to be learned. Like there's a lot of things that he touched on that I think were really well done. And I like that. Like I like that at the end of it, you're right. The reason, if she fell right into how Ransom would have thought she did, she would have gone to jail and he would have gotten all the money. He and his family would have had it. But because she didn't, because she was nice with Fran, she wanted to do her best, right? Like, she did it her way and won, and I like that.
Yeah.
It just was like, oh, and I was like, you're right. Ana de Armas is nice. My wife.
Yeah. And he attempts to kill Fran because she discovers him switching out the labels again, and then does the same thing that he planned Ana de Armas to do to Harlan. But since this is all attempted murder, he's like, you got nothing. I got good lawyers. And then after all this, you'll see how much hell I can wreak on your life, you vicious little bitch. And then
I love the way he said that.
and then you're like, oh fuck, he just admitted to the murder of Fran. And he's like, well, in for a penny. And just grabs a knife and attempts to murder poor Marta, but it's a prop knife. So he's like, shit.
But like, no, I love that. Wait, I don't get that part though. Somebody explain to me, what was the text message she got?
That she's dead. That Fran's dead.
Yeah, that Fran's dead.
Fran's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she said
She lied initially saying that she was stable. That's why he said, "Oh, it was only attempted murder. That's why I can get away with it." I get a fine for the arson, and I get off without a hitch for attempted murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that meant he admitted to doing the poison that brought Fran to the hospital in the first place.
Okay.
But because he admitted that, and so in her actually being dead, which he admitted to doing, he didn't admit to killing her. He admitted to doing the thing that killed her, essentially, but not saying he killed. I don't know. Sorry, I'm really bad at explaining this.
Yeah.
I get it.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I'm just like terrible at this. Anyway, continue. I'm so sorry.
And then Ransom's escorted out by the police as like Richard's trying to tell Jamie Lee Curtis like we have to do something, but she has the note from her dad with invisible ink, and then she's like, what? And then like you cut to Martha with the mug of Harlan, and then you see like Don Johnson with like a fresh black eye. You're like, that's nice.
That's funny.
And then you see the mug.
Yeah.
It says "My House."
Yeah, my house. Yeah, and she's looking up, like they're looking up at her, and she's looking down at them, and wow, symbolism. We love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think she might extend an olive branch to Meg at least, or
Yeah, because she was the only one that was very supportive.
Yeah. I know Meg, the actress, from somewhere. I just can't remember from.
13 Reasons Why.
I didn't watch the this one.
Oh, that's what she was familiar.
Yeah, no, she is probably best known for that. I would say. I don't know if you've seen her from anything else, but I know some people kind of confuse her for Joey King, if you know, from Kissing Booth, Bullet Train, and kid from Conjuring. Yeah, there you go. People confuse them because they're like, round faced, dark hair, curly girl. Like, dark hair, curly haired girls. So yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, what would you rate this movie?
Go, Jama. You're the one that had the change of heart. I want to see what you say.
Okay. For me, I enjoyed Glass Onion a little bit more than this. This is very traditional Clue. Benoit Blanc didn't stand out as much compared to Glass Onion until the third arc. Everybody did an amazing job. Everybody did played the snobby, rich, old money, kind of character very well. Mm-hmm. And Ana de Armas fucking stole the show. Yes. Like with every, should I say, Knives Out girl?
Yeah.
Like with Helen and
Marta.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, I would give this one. What did I give? Last time it was like an 8.5. I'm giving this one a 7.5. I'm going to pop down because I do like Glass Onion a little bit.
Okay. I am the opposite. I like this a bit more, just because the performances here from me are a bit more stronger. Not saying that any of the actors from Glass Onion were weak actors or did their parts not Will. I'm just saying like I kind of prefer this cast over Glass Onions. And like as I said, I've grown to appreciate this movie more, and like my grudge against Ryan Johnson has gone away because I'm like, you know what, we're kind of a big franchise, and
G&D has a personal
Same.
vendetta against
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson until the Knives Out Glass Onion movies.
yeah,
That's true. He showed
So
us,
funny.
like
and we can change.
yeah, like you did Looper and you did some of my favorite episodes of Breaking Bad, so you get a big pass.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did Ozymandias. Forgot about
yeah. But yeah, I'll give this a 9 out of 10.
that.
Yeah,
I think, what did I give Glass Onion? I don't even
10 out of 10.
remember.
you gave it 10.
10 out of 10. I think I could give this. Like, I think these two movies are like 10 out of 10s for me because they taught like they taught me a lot about like filmmaking, admittedly, and writing twists and like creating characters with heart in an ensemble cast, which I think is really impressive. And I think also like seeing oh my gosh, sorry, my Discord was being weird, but like seeing like an original movie do so well and have a lot of heart without trying to pander to people. Like the way that I've seen Ryan Johnson and his actors talk about these movies in their interviews, and the way that Ryan Johnson talks about his films, save for obviously the Star Wars stuff. I'm sorry, I don't actually watch that. But like seeing the way that he talks about it, like you can see that he comes from a place he's writing from a place of wanting to create good movies and good art, and he creates really timely movies that I don't think will age badly. Like you will see that it is dated, but dated doesn't mean so bad in my opinion, because sometimes I think he came into Glass Onion with the idea of like we cannot stray away from the fact that there was a pandemic, right? So that's why he created a movie set in the pandemic, like very much right now, right? And same thing with with Knives Out. It came at a timely point. With talk about immigration and everything like that. And so, like, I think for me, I have to give it that Ryan Johnson is an incredible creative, and I just can't seem to find anything that I hate about the Knives Out movie, or even Glass Onion. And I hope to see him keep up that level of quality. If possible, I don't want him to burn out from it and only be known as the guy that did those movies, or the other spectrum of doing the Star Wars movie. Sorry, why did I say Star Wars? Sorry, just the one. But okay, anyway, but you get me. You guys get me, right? Like I think that he is coming from a place of wanting to he loved Agatha Christie novels so much that he said, I want to create something and create it for my time, and he did that. And I'm just like, I miss original movies that just tried to do their own thing, that weren't like, of course I'm sure he was trying to chase box office just to pay shit off, but you can tell that there was passion, and I miss that. I really, really miss that, because in the grand scheme of movies, of being spectacles and getting big name actors and the whole talk about the Marvel, the MCU being supposedly bad. I don't have an opinion on that right now that I'd like to share. Like being bad for movies, right? Like just to see something that has that kind of heart. Sorry, I keep going on, but like I'm just so happy to see that. It revitalized my love for movies. And it was so nice to see that there is someone who can make a lot of money and be big and be successful, and like still create something that they were happy with and be nice to their actors. Wow, the bare minimum human decency. So yeah, and I'm just excited to see where he goes on from here, because he already has a really good track so far. So I want to see if he decides he wants to take a third movie from I'll call it the Benoit Blanc universe. I want to see where he takes it talaga. And I'm so excited. And yeah, I really can't not give it a 10 for how much it's inspired me as well. So yeah, I hope that. Sorry, I went on a long-winded thing.
That's
I just
fine.
really like Ryan Johnson. He's so
Fine.
he had an interview with the the Daniels who did Everything Everywhere All at Once. So fucking great to see. They're so creative. It's amazing. Anyway,
Yeah, I think the end of 2019 was a banger for movies too, because we had this Parasite, Ford vs Ferrari, Jojo Rabbit. You're like, holy shit! And then the world
Yeah.
closed for a bit. You're like, I guess that's it for now.
Yeah, it was a calm before the storm kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was,
enjoying
it
life. I
was.
can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
yeah, boosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was really just happy to see that. I was really like, I don't know. I just feel like, don't you guys think it's just nice to see a well done story, like both written and executed very well.
Yeah.
You know, and also
Being
the
a-
music is so.
Movie fanatics and cinephiles, yes, it is very refreshing to see something like what Ryan Johnson is making now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Like, I know we like comic books, but like, it's nice to see something original, like say Everything Everywhere All at Once do so well, and especially
And the
something.
Knives Out almost trilogy.
Yeah,
Almost trilogy.
enough,
That one.
and like good sequels like Top Gun, Maverick, where like it is not a comic book, it's not Star Wars, it's just bouncing off its own thing and doing really well to be like, I think the second biggest earning movie of last year. But I asked
What was the first?
Avatar.
Everything? Avatar?
In terms of like earning, like in terms of like box office draw.
Sorry, you meant last year or in all time?
Last year.
This wasn't Avatar for the last year. But so then who was number one? You said Avatar. Like,
Of
new
like
people Avatar?
yeah, of like
Yes.
putting people's seats in like theaters of like we want to see something
But
original.
wasn't Avatar this year, or am I just confusing it?
You're
No,
confused.
last year.
Yeah, it was last
It was
year.
last-
Avatar: Way of Water?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still showing today,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, it was last year.
But it counts as 20. No, you're right. It counted as 2022 because it was December.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, because like for me, the last 2 weeks of like
yeah.
the last 2 weeks already count as 2022 for me. Just when it
Yeah.
was released for me, I was like, So,
But-
okay. Anyways,
I asked this last time, but like off the top of your head, who would you add to like a Knives Out cast? Like just off the top of your head, who would like to see?
somebody said Jennifer Coolidge on TikTok, and I said that's absolutely so fucking true. I need to see that woman in a Knives Out movie.
I would like to.
I want to. Okay, go.
I would like to see Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, and Brad Pitt in a Knives Out movie.
No, that guy.
And if they can get Leo, why not? Because he's
I
like,
think-
part of the '90s picture.
No, but
Yeah.
like, do you know the concept? Well, you know the whole like the gentleman. What was they called again? Gentleman detectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they have that secret group that they have these who is doing it out of heart. And I would love to see like, oh, there's another secret organization that is like run by Christoph Waltz. That'd be sick.
All
Not
right,
bad,
cool.
not bad. I mean, no, that's valid. Absolutely.
He's on a reunion
Exactly.
of the James Bond cast.
He really said that. He really.
How about you, Nina?
No, I said Jennifer. I would say Jennifer Coolidge,
Yeah.
but I think someone also said Kiki Palmer.
Oh.
Who is
Okay.
who I would say no, Kiki Palmer as of late after the Nope movie has kind of been making waves because people remembered how funny she is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to
Good
see
job.
that woman. Like, I need to see that woman in a Knives Out movie because the comedy that she could bring, immense. And also Jennifer Coolidge because I absolutely love that woman. The roles that she takes are like in the same line of the Benoit Blanc movies.
Okay.
Like she is the same outrageousness. And I need to see that. She is amazing.
I gotta look up Jennifer Coolidge.
Do you remember how she is? Like, what do you know her from? American Pie, the Mill from American Pie.
Yeah.
That's what everyone knows her as. I know her from Legally Blonde.
Yeah, no.
She's like, that makes me want to
Two
hop
Broke
up real
Girls, if I remember.
bad.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
funny.
But yeah, that's been our video on Knives Out, the original one. If
Yes,
you
sir.
if you want to see more of us on this platform, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. If you want to see us elsewhere, we have a Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify all under the same name. Facebook to see us react to trailers. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, you can find me at Twitter at Gandalfus9925. How about you guys?
You know, you go first and go.
I go first. All right. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Naina. Yeah, that's all I got. How about you, Jom?
You can find me on Instagram at JomGEOM _ on it. Fuck!
At fuck?
You can find me at JomGEOM _ on Instagram. It is my article. There we go.
Alright. And we have one last whodunit, which is also done by an esteemed British gentleman, so just stay tuned for that.
He's French.
Are you talking about the actor or are you talking about the character?
The actor.
Which one are you talking about?
The actor and the director.
He's French.
Okay.
Okay, what?
The actor,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, the actor. Because I was like, wait a second.
Wait,
You're correct that he is
not
British, but
English.
are you talking about?
Well, technically,
Because I was like,
he's also.
Like, did you watch the movie? Did you read the book?
Well, technically,
shut the hell up.
the actor is.
I'm reading the book right now, so.
The actor.
Why?
The actor
Yes.
is Irish.
What
He's
happened
from-
to I don't read books, Joma?
New year, new me.
Okay, you know what, valid. I'm happy to see you read
Well, if
books.
you're
Anyways,
being really technical, he's from Belfast, Ireland, so he's Irish. But yeah, stay tuned for that. But as for now, that's all the time we have. We'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
bye.